Ferrari has never made a car like this before. This is the Ferrari Luce, Ferrari's first fully electric production car, and possibly the boldest design shift in the company's modern history. At first glance, the Luce doesn't look like a traditional Ferrari. The long hood proportions are gone. In their place is a smooth shell-like body sculpted almost entirely around aerodynamic efficiency. Ferrari says every surface was refined through over 6,000 CFD simulations and hundreds of hours in the wind tunnel. And that design has divided the internet instantly. Some automotive enthusiasts praise Ferrari for finally taking a true risk instead of building another predictable electric supercar. Others compared the Luce to everything from a luxury hatchback to a futuristic concept car that escaped the design studio too early. But beneath the controversy lies something genuinely fascinating. The Luce wasn't just designed by Ferrari engineers. Ferrari brought in LoveFrom, the design collective founded by former Apple design chief Jony and industrial designer Marc Newson. Their goal wasn't to imitate classic Ferraris. It was to rethink what a Ferrari could become in the electric age. That influence is visible everywhere. The glasshouse flows uninterrupted beneath the beltline. The floating front and rear aerodynamic wings appear suspended around the body. Even the lights disappear visually into the surfaces when switched off, preserving the purity of the shape. And unlike most EVs chasing minimalist touchscreen interiors, Ferrari deliberately moved in the opposite direction. The Luce brings back physical controls. Real buttons. Real toggles. Machined aluminum switches. Ferrari and LoveFrom believe drivers should operate the car largely by feel instead of staring at screens. Whether you love it or hate it, the Luce feels like Ferrari trying to invent a new language instead of translating an old one. And that alone makes it one of the most important cars Ferrari has launched in decades. One of the most unusual technologies in the Ferrari Luce is something called torque shift engagement. Ferrari understood one major criticism of high-performance EVs. Instant torque can feel impressive at first, but emotionally flat after a while. Most electric cars simply deliver everything immediately. Ferrari wanted progression, drama, interaction. So instead of simulating fake gear shifts, the Luce introduces a completely new torque management philosophy. The right paddle behind the steering wheel increases power delivery through 5 selectable torque levels, while the left paddle adjusts regenerative braking intensity through 5 braking levels. This creates something closer to a dialogue between driver and machine. Approaching a corner, the driver can dial in stronger regenerative braking. Exiting the corner, power can be progressively increased depending on grip and confidence. Critics online have already debated whether Ferrari is over-engineering the EV experience. Some see it as an unnecessary attempt to recreate combustion engine emotion. Others believe it's one of the first truly original ideas in the performance EV space. Either way, Ferrari clearly refuses to let the driving experience become passive. Under the bodywork, the Ferrari Luce is incredibly ambitious. Instead of using 2 or 3 motors like most high-performance EVs, Ferrari developed 4 completely independent electric motors, one dedicated to each wheel. Together they produce 1050 horsepower. The front motors spin up to 30,000 revolutions per minute. The rear motors reach 25,500 revolutions per minute. Ferrari says the system can accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 2.5 seconds and continue beyond 310 km per hour. But raw speed isn't the real story here. Ferrari's engineers focused obsessively on control. Because every wheel has its own motor, the Luce can independently manage torque at each corner of the car hundreds of times per second. Ferrari's new vehicle control unit coordinates power delivery, energy recovery, steering behavior, suspension movement, and traction simultaneously. The result is something Ferrari claims no combustion engine architecture could fully achieve. And then there's the sound. Ferrari knew silence alone wouldn't satisfy drivers expecting emotional feedback. But instead of adding fake synthesized engine noise, engineers developed a patented system that amplifies real vibrations produced by the electric drivetrain itself. The sound comes directly from the electric axles through accelerometers mounted in the drivetrain housing. Ferrari compares it to the way an electric guitar amplifier works. Some critics may still argue nothing can replace a Ferrari V12. But even skeptics admit Ferrari approached electrification more creatively than most brands entering the EV era. The Ferrari Luce treats each wheel almost like an independent intelligence system. Every wheel has 3 dedicated actuators. One controls propulsion and regenerative braking, one controls steering angle, and one controls vertical suspension movement. That means the Luce can actively control how each tire interacts with the road in real time. Ferrari says this creates a single fluid movement, where the car feels naturally connected to the driver despite weighing over 2 tons. It's also why the Luce can hide its mass surprisingly well. Thanks to the low-mounted battery and advanced control systems, Ferrari claims the car changes direction like something nearly 400 kilograms lighter. For a 5-seat electric Ferrari weighing 2,260 kilograms, that's an extraordinary claim. Even the windscreen wipers became an aerodynamic project. Ferrari says seemingly simple components required extensive development because every interruption in airflow affected efficiency and range targets. The Luce introduces Ferrari's first active grille system. These aerodynamic shutters open only when cooling is needed. Otherwise, they remain closed to reduce drag and improve efficiency. Ferrari even shaped the cooling layout to mimic the airflow behavior of aircraft wing profiles. This isn't just styling. The entire front end functions as part of the thermal management system. The wheel design is functional engineering disguised as sculpture. Ferrari says the turbine-inspired wheels reduce aerodynamic wake by roughly 5%, while still maintaining brake cooling performance. And at 23 inches front and 24 inches rear, these are the largest wheels ever fitted to a production Ferrari road car. The Luce silhouette was designed around uninterrupted airflow. There are almost no sharp cuts, recesses, or visual interruptions. Ferrari wanted the body to behave like one continuous aerodynamic surface. That smoothness became one of the car's defining visual identities, and one of the reasons it sparked such polarizing reactions online. Ferrari describes the Luce as a central passenger cell, wrapped by floating aerodynamic elements. The flowing surfaces around the front and rear wings aren't decorative. They actively guide airflow around the car while visually separating the body into layers. It's a design philosophy that feels closer to industrial product design than traditional supercar styling. The suspended front wing is one of the Luce's most recognizable features. It channels air through the nose while helping create aerodynamic stability without relying on aggressive exposed aero devices. Ferrari wanted performance without visual chaos. And whether enthusiasts loved the result or rejected entirely, the company clearly prioritized aerodynamic efficiency over nostalgia. Underneath the car, Ferrari engineered a completely flat aerodynamic floor integrated directly with the battery structure. Extensive sealing work reduces turbulence and energy loss, while improving airflow beneath the vehicle. The battery itself even contributes structurally to chassis rigidity. This is not simply a Ferrari with batteries added afterward. The entire car was designed around electrification from day one,